Okay, well, of course, Canada has long been one of the biggest producers of gold, but as food prices soar, a new type of gold is emerging. Sylvain Charlebois is a professor of food distribution and policy in the faculties of management and agriculture at Dalhousie University in Halifax. He's also the Food Professor podcast host. Sylvain Charlebois joining us again here this morning on CB24 Breakfast. Sylvain, nice to see you. Although when we turn to you, we frequently turn to you with sort of bad news when it comes to the dent in our wallets it's going to cost us when it comes to food. And if you're in the dairy aisles right now, you may need to take out a second mortgage. What's going on?
Yeah, vegans are dancing this morning.
Yeah.
Dairy alternatives are becoming more attractive. Yeah, that dairy section at the grocery store is getting more expensive. Across the country, we're hearing that fluid milk is becoming more expensive, 5 to 15%, depending on where you are, depending where you shop. And we are expecting dairy products to become more expensive as well in weeks to come. That's essentially due to the fact that dairy farmers are getting more for their milk. They're getting more for their butterfat as well, 8.4% for milk and 12.4% for butterfat. So obviously to make anything in dairy, cheese, yogurt will cost processors more, and at some point it will reach us consumers.
Yeah, it's going to get passed on eventually, no doubt about that. The thing is, Sylvain, this is all part of supply management, but the math, it's kind of murky, isn't it, in terms of how these, increases are justified?
Yeah, so back in October, it was announced by the Canadian Dairy Commission, a crown corporation owned by all Canadians. It was announced that milk was getting more expensive at the farm. But it was a 300-word memo, and it was just posted on their website. Thank goodness for media. Media really did its job to inform the public that this was happening. And that's when we actually heard of the existence of the Canadian Dairy Commission. So the process is not overly transparent. There is a survey. Canadian farmers are surveyed. They're being asked how much it costs to produce milk. But again, to get the data is close to impossible.
Right. So as a consumer then, Sylvain, what can we really do? I mean, how empowered can we be? I mean, effectively, the prices are controlled. We don't really have we can't sort of run across the border to get a, liter of milk.
Yeah, I mean, short of becoming a vegan, I guess.
Right.
A lot of fans, I'm a fan of dairy products. I love cheese. I love yogurt.
Same.
But, you have to cut back or you have to sacrifice. You have to tweak your budget, your food budget. Or I have to say, Nick, I mean, some of those dairy alternatives are really good. I mean, the quality of these products are better and they're priced right too. So once in a while, probably what we're expecting is that some consumers may be tempted to go beyond the dairy section and look for almond-based beverages, oat-based beverages, those kinds of products.
All right, interesting alternatives there. Do we have a sense, Sylvain, of how long the increased price could last? I mean, is this something they're saying, the forecast is for, until the summer and then things will sort of recalibrate, or is this potentially the new normal when it comes to dairy pricing?
You're going to hate me, Nick. This is a 12-month deal. Wow. So, we're not going to hear from the commission until October for potentially another increase. That's probably due to oil. Probably noticed that the gas pump, it's costing more to fill up. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what's going to happen? Probably farmers will report that it's costing more to heat barns and things like that. So we're going to have to pay for that.
Listen, Sylvain, I could never hate you. You can't shoot the messenger. I know that from this job. So, of course, you're just letting us know so we can prepare our household budgets. Exactly. It's really important to know, Sylvain. The other issue that's cropping up, beyond the dairy aisle, of course, is, these various protests, the trucker situation. The Ambassador Bridge, for example, yesterday shut down. I know this isn't necessarily what we're going to be speaking about today, but do you know how much food products move back and forth across that border in particular? Is it hard to sort of narrow it down just to one crossing?
Yeah, so this is not good. So from an agri-food perspective, $8 to $12 billion worth of food crosses that border either way. For Ontario, it's 45% of trades. So blocking that bridge is just not good news. Now, there are alternatives with the tunnel and Sarnia, but still, it will cost more to distribute food to service Ontario and Ontarians. So just not good news, really. It's disrupting the supply chain, and let's hope that this ends very soon.
Yeah, no kidding, because this is sort of only going to exacerbate the existing situation we're seeing of grocery store shelves with sort of limited supply. In some cases, there have been, anecdotally, and some people have even seen it in stores themselves with their own eyes. Store shelves just don't have the supply of product that we've gotten used to, right, Sylvain? We've been used to this sort of, shelves always fully stocked, and stuff comes out as, the loaves get moved off the bread, more comes in.
Exactly. I'm still not concerned about food access. I think we'll continue to see food on shelves, but geez, things are getting complicated out there. And most of it is human induced. Let's stop the madness and focus on making sure that Canadians are fed and in a affordable way as well.
Sylvain, before I let you go, in your sort of time and your research of what you do, Dalhousie, have you ever seen a period like this with this sort of uncertainty and sort of spikes and ranges of prices and production?
No, not at all. In the last 2 years, I've never mentioned the word supply chain management as often as I have. Wow. People are concerned. They want to understand what's going on. And of course, every time there's a disruption, they want to understand how it will affect them, obviously, normally. So we're doing our job. We're trying our best to inform. Last night, I was on the phone with some politicians asking questions about what it means, what the blockades mean. And we're here to inform the public as the best we can.
Sylvain, listen, we really appreciate what you're doing. And again, no hate here, only love. We really appreciate your time here when you come and join us on CB24 for breakfast, because again, our viewers get so much out of this, they can really plan. So thanks for your time. We'll chat again, and maybe at some point there'll be some good news to talk about food-wise.
I know. Take care, Nick.
Take care. We'll talk soon.